John Michael Ozzy Osbourne was born on December 3, 1948, in Aston, Birmingham, England, a tough working-class neighborhood that shaped much of his grit and personality. Growing up in a small home with 5 siblings, Ozzy's early life was marked by financial hardship, school struggles, and a constant search for identity. He battled dyslexia and left school at age 15, bouncing between odd jobs and petty crime. But even in those rough years, music gave him a sense of purpose. He was inspired by the Beatles, especially after hearing She Loves You for the first time. He later said it made him realize what he wanted to do with his life. That dream became a reality when he joined forces with guitarist Tony Iommi, bassist Geezer Butler, and drummer Bill Ward to form a band originally named Earth. But in 1969, the band rebranded itself as Black Sabbath, and the rest was history. Black Sabbath pioneered a darker, heavier sound that contrasted sharply with the peace and love era of the late 1960s. Their self-titled debut album, released in 1970, is considered one of the first true heavy metal records. Ozzy's haunting voice-piercing yet soulful cut through the gloom of Sabbath's doom-laden guitar riffs and mystical lyrics. With albums like Paranoid, Master of Reality, and Volume 4, the band laid the groundwork for an entire genre. Songs like Iron Man, War Pigs, and Paranoid became anthems of rebellion, alienation, and raw power. Ozzy's image, complete with crosses, eyeliner, and a somewhat manic energy, made him both a horror movie icon and a rock legend. Yet, behind the scenes, fame came with a price. As the 1970s progressed, Ozzy's drug and alcohol abuse became overwhelming. His increasingly erratic behavior strained his relationship with the band, and in 1979 he was fired from Black Sabbath. Most thought his career was over, but what followed was one of the most astonishing comebacks in rock history. In 1980, Ozzy released Blizzard of Oz, his debut solo album. It featured iconic tracks like Crazy Train and Mr. Crowley, showcasing a new, sharper sound and the virtuosic guitar work of a young Randy Rhoads. The chemistry between Ozzy and Rhoads was electric, and their collaboration reinvigorated his music career. Tragically, in 1982, Randy Rhoads died in a plane crash, sending Ozzy into a spiral of grief. Despite this, he pressed on, releasing albums like Diary of a Madman, Bark at the Moon, and No Rest for the Wicked. His live shows became legendary for their chaos and energy, stories of him biting the head off a bat on stage, a moment he later claimed was accidental, only added to his mythos. The Prince of Darkness persona stuck, but so did his loyal fanbase. Despite repeated stumbles, scandals, and stints in rehab, Ozzy remained a fixture in the metal scene. In the late 1990s and early 2000s, Ozzy achieved something few aging rockers manage: a full-blown second cultural relevance. In 2002, the Osbournes premiered on MTV, offering an unfiltered look into his chaotic family life with wife Sharon and kids Jack and Kelly. Audiences were shocked and delighted to see the godfather of metal fumbling with remotes, mumbling incoherently around the house, and cursing endlessly in his pajamas. The show was a massive hit and introduced Ozzy to a whole new generation. It also softened his image. Beneath the gothic theatrics and hard-parting persona, viewers saw a funny, vulnerable, and even lovable man. Sharon became a TV star in her own right, and Ozzy found himself straddling two worlds: metal icon and mainstream celebrity. He was everywhere, from reality TV to Super Bowl commercials, and even a star on the Hollywood Walk of Fame. But through it all, his love for music never wavered. As the 2010s approached, Ozzy kept recording and performing despite ongoing health issues. He reunited with Black Sabbath for a final album, 13, released in 2013, which topped charts worldwide and reminded fans of the band's enduring power. The farewell tour that followed was a bittersweet moment for fans around the globe. Ozzy, now older and more reflective, took time to speak openly about his past mistakes, his battles with addiction, his strained relationships, and his brushes with death. Yet, despite it all, he seemed unbreakable. In 2020, he released Ordinary Man, his first solo album in a decade, featuring collaborations with Elton John, Slash, and Post Malone. The title track was especially poignant, with Ozzy reflecting on his mortality and legacy. Fans were moved not just by the lyrics, but by the vulnerability in his voice. The man who once screamed into the abyss was now singing quietly about the end of the road. In recent years, Ozzy's health began to decline significantly. Diagnosed with Parkinson's disease in 2019, and dealing with complications from surgeries and injuries, he was forced to cancel tour and public appearances. But even from his home, he remained active, recording another album, Patient Number 9, in 2022, and continuing to speak to fans via interviews and social media. His resilience remained awe-inspiring. Each setback seemed to be met with humor, honesty, and determination. And through all the chaos and pain, Sharon Osbourne remained his rock. Their love story, turbulent, deeply flawed, but enduring, became one of the most unexpected constants in rock history. Together, they navigated fame, addiction, and family drama, all under the scrutiny of the public eye. Ozzy Osbourne is more than just the Prince of Darkness. He is a survivor, a trailblazer, and a man who turned personal demons into fuel for his art. From the bleak streets of Birmingham to the heights of global superstardom, his journey is one of reinvention and raw humanity. His music has influenced countless artists, from Metallica to Slipknot to modern rappers and producers. His image, madman, icon, father, survivor, is etched into pop culture. But perhaps most importantly, Ozzy never gave up. He kept going when many would have stopped, and in doing so, he gave generations of fans a reason to scream, cry, and rock out. Whether you know him for the bat-biting, the booming anthems, or the bumbling dad on TV, Ozzy Osbourne has lived a life unlike any other. And while the curtain may slowly be falling on his performing career, his legacy is already immortal. As long as there are guitars to shred, speakers to blow out, and fists to raise in the air, Ozzy's spirit will echo in every headbang, every power chord, and every scream of all aboard.